What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Frontline Film Podcast, episode number 29. Big episode this week. A movie that we have been excited for several years, several years, and then a legacy movie we're going to be talking about for one of our favorite comedies of all time. So we're gonna be reviewing the new Fantastic Four and also Happy Gilmore 2. But before that, we got tons of trailers, tons of big trailers to talk about. Um, and then we're going to wrap up our discussion, our weekly discussions on Stick. We got the finale of Stick this past week. So going to dive into that. So big episode. Um, yeah, big movie that I picked on my most anticipated, and I think a lot of people would have had this at one of their most anticipated on the year. So um, very excited to dive in. Love a good Marvel movie review. So, um, yeah, man, how you doing? How's life?
Staying out of the heat. I know, just like you, especially in that concrete jungle, it gets hot. But yeah, staying out of the heat, trying to. Had some family in town this weekend, but hey, good weekend. Love seeing family and got to see one really good movie and one very entertaining movie this weekend.
Yes, two very entertaining movies, honestly, just
Hmm.
in different ways. Um, but yeah, we'll get to those in a little bit, so we can go ahead and just dive right into the trailers. I put this one first because we probably need to talk about it the least. But we did get the first trailer for Five Nights at Freddy's 2. The sequel to, I think it was 2023's Five Nights at Freddy's. Kind of honestly, I mean, it's whatever you think about the movie, it's cool that they were able to crank out a sequel this quick. Uh,
Hmm.
some television shows can't even crank out a season that quick, so very cool. But yeah, first trailer for Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is bringing back Josh Hutcherson. Matthew Lillard's going to be in it. They've announced a couple other people that are going to be in it as well. I know the one of the other original guys from Scream. I forgot his name. The guy that plays the killer.
Are you talking about Billy Loomis? The
Yes,
guy who plays Billy Loomis?
his
Oh,
actor, yeah, is going to be in
I didn't
this
know
as
that.
well. So yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see how it goes off of the first one, and how much into the game's lore it goes. I know me and you were both pretty disappointed in the first one. I think you're a little harder on it than I am. I was able to find a little fun in it because it was just super outrageous, but I really wanted it to be scarier because the games are terrifying, and it just wasn't. Um, and I know I don't I mean I know it was just the first movie and the first game, it doesn't have too much lore. It's once you start getting into the sequels. So I'm curious to see how this one further develops that lore. And I want it to just be a scarier movie. I mean, the first one was, I think it had potential. It's a very cool, fun concept, and it's one of the scariest video games of all time. I think it can be done right. They just gotta figure it out. So, um, I thought the trailer was kind of whatever. What didn't look horrible, but it didn't look great. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about probably the greatest indie horror game ever. Especially now it's a franchise. It's up there with like Outlast, stuff like that, which an Outlast movie we talked about would be sick. Um, but unfortunately, the first one, they didn't dive too deep into the lore of like what actually is going on. I kind of wish it would do that a little bit more. And yeah, I was probably a little bit more harsh. But this one definitely trying to, bring the aspects of the second game, with the toy animatronic look. Afton's back, of course, but all in all, I just think that they're trying to do their own story, not really dive into the lore of like what makes, Five Nights at Freddy's so like interesting, and I think the concept. But we'll see. It's nice to see, we'll get to see Matthew Lillard again and Josh Hutcherson again and all that. Like that's all good stuff. But the I thought the animatronics looked good, and it'll be fun to see the puppet in this one because the puppet is definitely one of the creepiest animatronics out there. So we know we're getting that with McKenna Grace was also in the trailer. I kind of forgot about that, but she finds the puppet obviously with the marionette doll, and winding the music box, which is all obviously like an ode to the second game. Like that's what kind of is one of the main points. So we'll see. I'm not very hype about this. I'm gonna go in with low expectations probably, and it might, exceed those, or it might be even worse than I thought. I just wish that the first one could have opened up, I think, more successful and better movies if you dive a little bit deeper into the lore, which makes it scarier. So
Yeah, I hope they do. And maybe they take that risk since now it's a sequel. Because I know the first one made a ton of money. It was like one of the highest grossing movies that year, I think. Like it did very, very well. So maybe like, now that they got that confidence because they made money on the first one, maybe they'll take some more risks with this one and maybe go more, game accurate or lore accurate. So
agreed.
that'd be cool. Like
Yeah,
you said, I'm the same way. The low expectations. I'm not getting too excited about this, so maybe it ends up being a pleasant surprise, or maybe it's just as bad as we think it might be. So we'll just have to see. But that comes out, I honestly can't even remember. Is it around
I think
October?
it's October, like the second week, maybe first, second week.
Yeah, enough to release date. Oh, it's December. Okay, interesting.
That movie's coming out in December.
Yeah,
Oh, that
very,
movie's
very.
freaked.
Sometimes if studios are confident in their movies, they release them in December because they know people will go see it in the holidays.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, so that's Five Nights at Freddy's 2. We also got the second trailer for Paul Thomas Anderson's new movie, One Battle After Another. The new movie with Leo. It's also got Benicio del Toro, Tiana Taylor, among a couple of others. Um, so I actually saw this trailer like a week or two ago before it even came out because it played, I think it was in front of Superman. It was the first time like I'd seen it, and then it released like a week or two later. I'm amped for this movie. The more I see of it, the more excited I'm getting. Um, it looks like Leo just delivers a wild, fun performance. Um, we were able to get a little bit more of like what the story's going to be about with this trailer, and I think I saw it was like it's going to be like a 3 hour movie. So I just think it's going to end up being like one of those sneaky bangers. That we didn't really expect going into the year. But the more I see of it, the more and more excited I'm getting. That comes out at the end of September. Uh, I think it looks hilarious. And I also think, I don't know the aspect ratio or whatever that it was shot on, but when I saw the trailer um, in IMAX, like I was at Lincoln Square on the 70 millimeter screen, and um, it took up the entire screen, whereas a lot of like trailers and movies don't take up the full screen. So he must have shot it like with IMAX screens in mind. So it looks like it's going to be shot really well. Obviously, Leo's going to kill it. Um, yeah, dude, looks like a fun time. I'm very excited for this.
Yeah, I think we kind of touched on it last episode where this could be like one of the sneaky movie of the year candidates for us. So yeah, no, I think like every time, like you said, every time we see a trailer, especially with the second trailer, now we get a little bit more. Um, I just get more excited for this movie. It's going to be one of those sleepers, and we obviously wanted to do well at the box office, but it might be one of those that kind of doesn't underperform, but is going to go kind of under the radar for people. Like they may not go see it, may not be interested or whatever. I mean, you have, Leo as the main guy, so that's going to bring people in just in that. I'm very curious to see like how it does. But I know for us, like we're very excited. The cast looks very good. The story looks intriguing. It looks like it's going to be funny. And I am actually very excited for this movie. Wasn't one on my radar like before the first trailer came out. And then once the first trailer came out, like I was like, okay, yeah, that actually looks like it'll be very interesting. I'm ready for this movie. But yeah, we'll see. I'm ready for that one to come out because I feel like I said, I think it'll be a sleeper for like one of the best movies of the year.
Yeah, dude, I'm very, very excited. And is this the first Leo movie that we've gotten since Killers of the Flower Moon? I think it might be.
Yeah.
Maybe. At least it's like next biggest movie anyways. But um yeah, very excited. Love a good Leo banger every couple years. So hopefully this one lives up to it. And it's also refreshing to get a movie like this that's not like it is based on a book, but like it's not like, franchise related
Right.
or anything crazy. It's just a fun, different movie. So
Right.
very, very excited. One Battle After Another comes out like at end of September. So not too far away because it's almost August, which is insane. Um, we also got the first teaser trailer for season two of Percy Jackson and the Olympians. This one's going to be based on the second book, which is obviously Sea of Monsters. Um, I think we've talked about it on this podcast maybe a little bit, but the Percy Jackson books were like like both of our like favorite series growing up. Absolutely love those books and the Heroes of Olympus books. So we were really excited when season one came out. We really enjoyed it. Um, it was definitely like more targeted, I think, towards like little kids, but it's also kind of like how, like I said the other day, like the original Harry Potters felt more like kids movies, and then with each year like it slowly got more mature and serious, and that's kind of what I'm thinking that they might do with this show. The first season it had some serious moments, but it was mostly just fun and silly. But as the kids end up getting older and the story gets a little bit more serious, um yeah, I think this show, like, by the end of Harry Potter, it was like just so dark. And
Yeah.
so that would be really cool if this show kind of got to that level. But yeah, the new season definitely looks a little more serious. Like the stakes are raised a little bit compared to season one. We get, glimpses of all the cast and some new creatures. We got our first look at the Cyclops, uh, which looks interesting. What's his name again in the books?
Tyson?
Tyson, yeah,
Yep.
Tyson. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm very excited. That doesn't come out again until September, but take note, Stranger Things, they released two great seasons in 2 years apart, so it's not that hard because this show has a lot of VFX too. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, very, very excited for this. Hopefully it's a success and they, keep making till they finish the whole book series.
Yeah, I want them to keep going because obviously the movie thing that they try to do with Logan Lerman did not make it past Sea of Monsters, and that movie was awful. I don't think it did the book any justice. I don't know how you rate the books. I obviously haven't read them since God knows when. But I remember Sea of Monsters being very like an entertaining book. Maybe not the best one, but it was very entertaining. And if they can get it right and have a strong season this season, then it makes you more excited because now we're getting into territory that we've never seen in media before, and that's where it gets interesting. Like Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, and then Sea of Monsters. We've seen that in media before. Now, to be fair, there's a very low bar that you have to reach to get above what Sea of Monsters was, however long ago. So this season, I have high expectations for because I think it'll be better than the movie. But once you get past that, it's uncharted territory, which will be very interesting, which I'm very excited to see. This story gets very good, and like you said, it gets more serious, higher stakes as the books go on. So that'll be very interesting to see as well. And obviously, we're going to be growing up with these characters now. Us, we're old, so they don't look like they age much to us. But I'm sure if you ask people that watched the first seasons that were younger, they're like, "Oh wow, you can tell they've aged already." But for us, they still look 12. So, but no, I'm super excited. Love Percy Jackson. We'll be watching immediately. And like you said, take notes. Some seasons of television take way too long to crank stuff out. Percy Jackson is going to have a lot of special effects. So kudos to them for being able to pump out another season relatively quick. Now it's just we hope it's good.
Yep, for sure. I'm excited. I have high hopes. That'll be a good show to like round the year out with. Yeah, and it won't take much to get better than that second movie with Logan Lerman. I did enjoy the first one, the
Yeah,
Lightning Thief.
first one, yeah, it's enjoyable.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think that movie's good, but yeah, Sea of Monsters was definitely a miss. Um, yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. I have high hopes. So, yeah, that's Percy Jackson. And now on to the biggest trailer of the week. One of the biggest trailers of the year. Um, got the very first trailer for Avatar: Fire and Ash, third movie in James Cameron's Avatar franchise. Um, it actually premiered on screens in front of Fantastic Four this week, and then it just officially like released on online today. Question for you, because I saw the movie first. You just saw the movie today. Did you watch it on when it came out on Twitter this morning? You waited to watch it on the big screen?
I knew it was going to come out in front of Fantastic Four, and I wanted to see it on the big screen first, and that was definitely the right call.
Yeah, dude. So like I saw Fantastic Four on 70 millimeter Lincoln Square. And so I got to see that trailer on the biggest screen in the
Yeah,
country. And like
yeah,
after after the trailer was over, like a dude a couple rows over, there were probably more people too, but a dude audibly like a couple seats over goes, "Holy shit." Like it's this dude, this movie looks insane. It looks absolutely ridiculous. As good as the second one was, this one looks even better. Like it legitimately had me wanting to stand up and clap for the trailer. It looked that good. The score was banging. We got great glimpses of all of our favorite characters and then some of the new ones as well, and like what the fire like environments is going to look like. Um, Dude, it is just a banger trailer. You took it with your number one overall, most anticipated, and you definitely looking good right now. I am unbelievably excited for this movie. I could go on and on and on about the trailer, and even like the last bar that the new villain says. It's like your goddess has no dominion here. Um, yeah, dude, this movie looks unbelievable, and I think everyone is as excited for it as we are.
I couldn't be more excited. Looking back at it now and the most anticipated, like it makes so much sense that we took this. Like The Way of Water after the long wait. I remember seeing the first teaser for that, the first trailer, and just being like, this movie is so gorgeous looking. And this is only the trailer. I can only imagine how good it looks in theaters. And then you get to this trailer and you're like, dude, like, oh my God. Like what he has done, this is like defining stuff. Like we know most of this movie is going to be special, like effects and everything, but it still takes a lot of like, I feel like it takes a lot of guts to be like, okay, we're gonna make this movie's gonna look incredible. It's gonna be one of the best looking movies of the year. Easily. And that's insane because sometimes we get into this thing where like, oh, we don't like the CGI because it doesn't look real. You cannot say that about the Avatar movies. They look so freaking good. In this trailer, I got goosebumps like at least 10 times, at least. And yeah, the last bar, like your goddess has no dominion here. That's the hardest thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, okay, awesome. But the fire Nob or the Fire Tribe or whatever they're going to be called. I don't think I caught that if it was in the trailer or if somebody announced it. Like they look incredible, look very unique. Like it's sometimes you wonder like, okay, how can he make like all these tribes look different? And of course he goes and does that and they look completely different. They look cool. The environment looked cool with like the volcano and like the ash trees that were there and the rocks. Looks dope. And I feel like this one's gonna be another like emotional movie. Like Way of Water was very emotional. This movie's gonna be so good. There's nothing that you can convince me. Like, people could walk out of that movie saying it sucked, like people I trust, and I wouldn't believe them. Like, there'd be no way. I just don't think anybody's gonna walk out of this movie be like, I didn't like that movie.
Yeah, and this movie is like one of the rare exceptions where like I'm 100% confident that this movie is going to be incredible. Like
Yeah.
even with other movies that we were very excited for, like Superman and Fantastic Four, like you don't really know. You don't really know how it's going to turn out. Obviously, like you're hopeful, but like you don't know. This movie, without a doubt, is going to slap so hard.
Oh yeah.
There is no doubt in my mind at all. I am just freaking stoked for this. Comes out December 19th, so it'll come out around Christmas time. Be the perfect movie to go watch with the fam.
Yep.
Christmas break. Um, dude, I can't wait. James Cameron has the sauce. That shot of um, Jake, Sully, and Neytiri like walking with all the dragons flying in the background.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't know how he does it.
I don't know, dude. I don't know how he does it. I wonder how long this one's gonna be. But Yeah, no, unbelievable. Arguably like the biggest movie trailer of the year,
Hmm.
outside of like the Odyssey teaser. But um, yeah, movie look. I could just go on and on. Literally, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. I'm
Yeah.
probably gonna watch it after this podcast is done.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so that is Avatar: Fire and Ash. Very, very excited. We'll be there day zero for that one. I can't remember. Did you end up going to see Wave Water in 3D?
In IMAX, you mean?
Just in 3D.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Those are like the only movies that I'll go watch in 3D, and I genuinely think they're better in 3D. Um, but yeah, I'll definitely be going to watch this one in 3D.
Word.
Um, yeah, so that's Avatar: Fire and Ash. That's all of our trailers. Um, and now, like we've been doing the last couple weeks, we're gonna recap the most recent episode of Stick, which was the finale. The season finally came to a close. Finished out the story, I think, on a very good note. Didn't really end on much of a cliffhanger, which is good. Um, so yeah, we can just jump right in. I want to go ahead and say like full review of the show. Great show, really,
Hmm.
really good, entertaining show. Very heartfelt, very funny. On it like kind of thrilling. The sport aspect of it, the competitive aspect of it. Um, and we'll talk some more golf later with another movie, but.
The
Um,
golf today.
it was just refreshing to get golf content. I say that, and we're about to talk more golf content. But yeah, it was just like it was so good. It was such a feel good show. Owen Wilson was great. I think the kid that plays Santi was really solid. Then Santi's mom and Mitch were great. Timothy Olyphant was great. I really, really enjoyed the show. It definitely like at the beginning, I think it started off good. And then there were a couple episodes there where I'm like, okay, I'm not really that interested anymore, and Zero's pissing me off. But then like it really regains its footing and finishes so strong. I think the last like 3 or 4 episodes of the show were the best. Um, him being on the tour in this most recent episode, you get all kinds of cameos from all kinds of people, which was very, very cool. Um, Yeah, dude, our boys on the PGA Tour, old Scotty and Rory and Colin and all of them, they're having a big week, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They are. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Like we said, I kind of texted the group about it, but saying like the second half of the season was one of the best turnarounds in a season I think I can like remember because obviously we have great shows with great second halves, but that's because like oh also the first half was good, but this one I felt like when I got to episode 5 and 6 I was like man I feel like the rest of this season is gonna be a drag to watch and I might just wait till the rest of it comes out so I can just watch it. But after episode 6 man it like got really really good. You get more like a little more like Price, like what how he operates, and Santi realizing how much he loves golf, and Mitz and Santi's mom kind of getting together, and you find out a little bit more about Mitz. You get all of that, and I feel like besides being a golf show or about like a feel good sports show, at the center of it, it is like a lot of these people are like broken and they find, happiness and confide in one another. And it's like one family. I love that. I love that because there's some really good episodes with Price and, realizing like, hey, I got to come to terms with my son dying and like passing away. But Santi isn't just, my second chance. He's somebody that I care for and I want the best for him and everything like that. And I love that. Owen Wilson's great in this show. He's like the perfect Price. I really do. Like he's a great casting. And it's funny too. It's funny. You laugh, you like get emotional sometimes, and then like in the last episode, you're cheering. No, he didn't win, but he like pulls off a great golf shot back to back and Colin Morikawa says, "Hey, that's great and all, but I have like a 10-foot putt to win this tournament." And Owen Wilson's just sitting there, everybody's on the green like cheering, but the tournament's not even over. But it's real feel good. I loved it. The second half of the season is so strong, like really strong. And of course, like we saw that it got renewed for season 2.
Yep,
Very
I was just
exciting.
about to
And
say that
yeah,
as well.
there's no cliffhanger, you're right. But we do get like seeing, Price hit the shot at the end and Santi saying holy shit like a really good shot or it could be really bad I guess but No, seeing Price kind of get back into that groove and being like very happy and everything, and also like the whole thing with his dad, Santi's dad, like
Yep.
being a caddy and you seeing him like basically wanting to be in the spotlight when at the end of the day it's not about him, it's about Santi loving the game of golf, not his dad being, the
Yeah, and
centerpiece. And
I mean, honestly, his dad's the reason that like he lost the tournament.
right,
Kind of went back
exactly.
into old ways. Because I, dude, I was hopeful. I was hopeful at first. The dad seemed like very likable and genuine at first, and then
Yeah.
as soon as he takes over as his caddy, like you just know it's going downhill. Um, but yeah, dude, talk about the ending. Yeah, the where Price picks up the club and swings. Dude, maybe we're getting a little teaser. Maybe Price might make a little comeback as well. Who knows? We'll have to see. Because they
Yeah.
made points like, there's been older guys on the tour before, and
Right.
Price obviously still just hit the piss out of the ball.
Yeah.
Um, Shout out Owen Wilson, good golf swing, by the way.
Yeah, it really does. I was actually shocked. I was
But
actually shocked.
yeah, just a great season of TV, great finale. It was so cool. All the PGA cameos, and you had Jim Nance as well, and um, a couple others. But at the end of the day, like it's not all about that. It's like Owen Wilson and this kid, and the journey they've been on, and like you said, the found family, the whole found family thing. Um, Very cool, very good, like feel good, easy show. It's not one of those shows, that like Severance that requires a lot of thought and thinking and like time commitment. It's just a good, quick, easy, enjoyable show that genuinely like anybody can enjoy. There's like no way, there's nothing unlikable about this show. It's just such a good, like innocent, harmless golf show, which is
Yeah.
great. People love sports and people love Owen Wilson and it's just perfect. So yeah, I'm very, very excited. I wasn't sure if it was going to get a season two. But I think literally like the day it premiered, they announced it. So I was very, very excited for that. Um, Apple TV outside of Severance, they tend to crank out their stuff pretty quick. So we could be getting another season as soon as next year, which is very exciting. But yeah, that's stick another banger season of television this year. Like
They
I
hit again.
every week, bro.
Apple TV hit again.
Bro, we're getting spoiled with TV this year. Like as good as some movies have been, this has been the year of TV in my opinion. Like the shows and seasons of television we've gotten this year have just been unbelievable.
I've watched more TV shows this year than I can remember. Like I am on like whenever even like we talk about Netflix, but even like shows on Netflix that I see, Apple TV, Hulu, obviously. We're gonna get Hulu again here in a minute with Alien. We get HBO with Welcome to Derry. So like it feels like everybody is cranking out some type of good show every so often. So if you can't find one on one streaming platform, go find another one on another one because you'll definitely find something you like.
Yep, for sure. So yeah, I'm not sure what our next big shows will be. I know Peacemaker is like towards the end of August.
I think Chief of War
Oh
is
yeah,
very
you're right.
soon.
Chief of War comes out like the first. That literally
Yeah,
comes out
like
like this
next
week.
week.
Yeah. Okay. We might be talking that depending on how it is. And like I said, like last week or 2 weeks ago, we can it's still got like 3 or 4 episodes left, but I really want to watch Smoke and talk about that. I bet that's a great show and Hunter said very high things about it. So yeah, a lot of stuff to look forward to. And then those documentaries also come out soon, don't they?
Yeah, we get the SEC one not this Thursday, but the next. So like right at the first week of August. And then I can't remember when the WWE one is.
Let's see. Yeah, August 5th for any given Saturday, WWE Netflix show. Um, so season one premieres July 29th. That's literally tomorrow.
For which one?
For WWE, I think.
Oh my God, let's
Is it
go.
called WWE Unreal?
Yeah, is that right? Yeah, that sounds right.
Yep, tomorrow.
Come on.
Let's go. So we'll be talking that next week and whatever else comes along. So yeah, that's all of our trailers and that's stick. Um Now it's time to jump into the movie reviews. All right, so first we are gonna talk about Happy Gilmore 2, the sequel almost 30 years in the making. I think the first one came out in 96. That's 29-year gap. That's a big, big gap. between a movie and its sequel. But nonetheless, it is one we were very excited for once we heard that it was happening and Adam Sandler and the whole squad was back on board. Um, Obviously, like not all of Adam Sandler's movies are great. A lot of them are, just stupid but fun. Um, and Happy Gilmore's, up there with a lot of people's like favorite movies or favorite comedies of all time. It is one of the most iconic, if not like the most iconic comedy of all time. Like it's up there. It's top five at least. So yeah, them announcing a sequel like this far out of, the release of the original one, was kind of wild. I don't know if a lot of people saw it coming, but um, yeah, I mean, once I heard Adam, I think he announced it like last year. I think me and you both got very excited. Obviously, like you're not expecting like a cinematic masterpiece with this movie. The first one's not a cinematic masterpiece. It's stupid. Like the first movie, it's so stupid, but it's so much fun and so funny, and it honestly like has a you know, good like emotion at the core of it. He's trying to save the house for his grandma. Um, and yeah, so like I want to go ahead and like say up front, like if you're being overcritical of this movie saying it was just too stupid or silly and it sucked. Like, screw you. That's what this movie's supposed to be. Um, it took everything that the original did and then just amplified it like times 10, in regards to cameos and the stupidity and weird moments and um, just stuff like that. Like it's a 30 year in the making legacy sequel. It's not supposed to be a masterpiece. It's just supposed to be nostalgia, and a good hour and a half, 2 hours of laughs for Adam Sandler fans and for Happy Gilmore fans. That's who this movie was made for. It's not made for IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes critics. Like it's made for us. It's made for people who grew up on the movies and people who love laughing. Like that's what it is. So yeah, I'll just say up front, like I had a great time with it. Is it perfect? Not by any means, and we'll get into some cons as well, but like overall, a lot of fun and some really, really funny moments and some awesome cameos as well. So yeah, what did you think? I know you absolutely love the original.
The original is a top three most quotable comedy like ever. I do not care. You saw us in the group message last night. We were cranking line after line, banger after banger. And some of the callbacks in this movie were to the, original great lines. So that was pretty funny. Like you said, some great cameos. A couple of the golfers actually shocked me with how funny they were. Did not see that coming at all. Um, I was actually genuinely impressed by how much I did like this movie because look, it just called back to the original. It was the same movie, definitely a different premise, but it didn't try to do anything extra. It was still Happy Gilmore being Happy Gilmore. At the beginning when they were, taking a little like he was very sad with like, and he was struggling with alcohol, whatever. I was like, okay, yeah, I could, okay, whatever. But then when they finally got him back into like playing golf again and everything, dude, I laughed out loud multiple times. I thought there were some great jokes in this one. Seeing like some of the old characters and then like the children of the old characters that made appearances, absolutely hilarious. And again, like it's a feel good sports movie, but at the heart of it, it is a comedy. It's trying to make you laugh. It's trying to be stupid at times. It's not trying to take itself seriously. But I actually enjoyed this movie a lot, like really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I honestly think I enjoyed it a lot more than I expected as well. Seeing a lot of people on Twitter hate on it, it's just pissing me off because like it really is a fun movie. If you didn't have fun with this movie, then you're just a boring person.
Yeah.
Like no, it's not perfect, and there's some really stupid parts that I'll get into in a minute. But like dude, it's so fun. Some of the all like there were just an unlimited amount of cameos, and almost all of them were like great. He also had like a lot of his family, like his wife was in it, and then I
Yep.
think a couple of his kids were in it as well, which was cool.
Yep.
Um, and yeah, like you said, the callback characters, like like Eminem and Boban's characters were like, legacy characters from the originals. And then we got Ben Stiller back. We got Julie. Is it Julie or Julia Bowen? I think it's
Uh,
Julie.
I think I don't know. I
Yeah.
can't remember.
Um, yeah, and obviously Shooter McGavin back, who I think he was really solid in this movie. I'm glad that they kind of went with the twist of him like turning good after they had that like really funny fight in the
Yeah,
graveyard.
yeah,
Um, it was cool like see them working together and then see Shooter like he kind of had a little redemption there at the end of the
yeah.
movie, which was cool. Um, yeah, dude, like it was just such a fun time. It's something you can kick back and relax and throw on at any given point of the day with any
Hmm.
group of people and like y'all are gonna get laughs out of it.
Yep.
Um good golf stuff if you're a fan of like PGA, like it's littered with PGA cameos. Obviously Scotty stands out. I think the funniest part of the movie was like when he was like, I can't go back
Yeah, yeah,
when
yeah,
he gets arrested.
yeah.
And then I think the whole bit with Will Zalatoris being that kid from the
I was
original.
crying laughing. I thought that was the funniest joke of the whole movie. Like, oh yeah, no, that's why they're under the bridge, and then he like goes away. He's like, no, I think about that shit every day, you son of a bitch. Like, I can't get over it. You choked me out. Laughed my, dude, I laughed so hard when I saw that because
Yeah,
you know
and
he was
then
making the comments on Twitter, and when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, Will Zalatoris, no way, he's gonna be like the caddy or whatever. Oh, I was laughing so hard.
yeah, and I mean Bryson DeChambeau was funny. We got a good bit of Rory. I was honestly like kind of surprised like how much we got of some of these golfers. Like Scotty and Will Zalatoris and DeChambeau, like they had a lot of lines. They had a
Yeah, so
lot.
did Justin Thomas when he was
Yeah,
first grouped with Happy. The two lines that Xander Schauffele said
yeah,
at the little
Xander Schauffele
banquet,
were
I was
funny.
laughing.
Jack
The yeah,
Nicholas,
yeah,
he had a good amount of speaking lines as well. Um, yeah, dude, just a lot of good stuff. If you're a golf fan, you'll love it. If you like comedies, I think you'll have a fun time. So, um, I will jump into like my biggest con. My biggest con, I think that the whole Maxi League was just stupid. It was just like too out there, all of these like weird styles of golf challenges and things like that. Um, I think it obviously was like kind of poking fun at or, kicking at like the live golf LIV. Is it LIV or
it's
live?
live.
That I think it was kind of like picking fun at that, but like I just think it was a little bit almost too ridiculous. I would have rather it just been a normal golf tourney at the end rather than all that weird stuff. Um, And then I think as much I love Benny Safdie, and I think he had a couple funny moments in this movie, but I didn't think his villain role was particularly strong. Obviously, you got to have somebody like represent the big bad company, but I don't know if maybe he was the best choice. Um, didn't really love his character or like the whole Maxi golf thing, but outside of that, like a ton of fun. It was a good like redemption story for Happy. Um, I didn't know at the very beginning, like I didn't know how I would feel right after it happened of him killing his wife.
Yeah,
Like that happens in the first 5 minutes. You're like, what?
yeah,
Um, when that happened, I was kind of like, what are they doing here? Like I got a little worried, but it honestly like kind of works itself out in the end, and like it was a good driving force for him to, you know, get back on the saddle and go back to playing some golf. So. Yeah, I mean, really, that was my only complaint was the whole maxi golf thing. I wish it would have just been a normal golf tournament, but I understand they were trying to make it different and fun and kind of pick fun at live golf. Um, yeah, dude, outside of that, so much fun. So much fun.
yeah. No, like I said, it gave plenty of laughs. That's what I wanted it to give. Thought there were very quotable moments. And I think this one, like, you can go watch the first one, obviously, and I think you can just like you can watch this one as well. You can definitely turn this one on and have a good time with this one just as much as the first one. Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny. I like the trope of like, look, when Happy first came into the PGA scene, like he was just outlandish and he cussed, he wasn't very proper. And then now in this movie, he's like trying to save traditional golf because this is just so outlandish. And yeah, I like the idea of like Shooter, kind of getting a little redemption. And I thought he was funny a couple times in this movie. And yeah, no, there were definitely like the maxi golf thing was a little bit out there, but I almost didn't mind it because it was trying to be so out there because they knew how outrageous it was. And they were walking out with the walkouts and everything. Yeah, no, like I said, there are some parts of this movie I think are dumb, but I think there's enough moments in this movie to like make me laugh, and like I really did like Scotty Scheffler being really funny, and Xander Schauffele like saying, that's what she said, and he turns around to Ricky Fowler and he's like, I don't think that's the right time to use that X. Like I just thought moments like that were funny. The Will Zalatoris thing was hilarious.
Yeah, dude, the
Um,
golfers are funny, man. Outside of all like
yeah,
the comedic actors, like Buscemi or guys
like
like
John Daly was holding his own in that
Don
movie.
Daly was so funny.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
yeah, it was good.
yeah, no, I enjoyed a lot of it. Like I said, there are some parts I didn't care for, or maybe I got a little bored and didn't know where the story was going. But for the most part, I had enough fun. I will definitely be watching this movie again. Rewatchability is way up there, so.
Yeah, go with your ranking? What'd you go with?
Yeah, so I actually gave it 3.5 stars on Letterboxd. And I was gonna go three, but I feel like a 6.5 is a perfect ranking for this movie. Like I said, I enjoyed it, and I thought the aspect of like the real golfers being funny and like actually having good moments and them actually like showcasing some of these golfers. And it's also gonna help grow the game of golf, which I think is also really good. And it being like this is one of those that might be a perfect straight to Netflix movie. Like there's no other way to put it. So I give it a 6.5. That's what I rated it, and then 3.5 stars on Letterboxd. So
I honestly still do wish it would have had a theater release. It would have been cool to see this on theaters, and I honestly think it would have made a lot of money, as
yeah.
much as people love the original. But it is what it is. I'm right there with you. I gave it 3 stars, but I gave it a 6.4. So
Mm.
right there at
Yeah,
the three and a
literally.
half mark, literally. And you said 6.5. Um, yeah, I think we're both at about the same level. It's not perfect. It's got some flaws, but it's a ton of fun, really
Right.
funny. I think it's a good legacy sequel as far as legacy sequels go. So a lot of the times, like they're horrible, but
Yep.
this one just like rolled with it and rolled with like how silly it was and like fully embraced that silliness and um it just worked. It worked. All the cameos were great. All the actual golfers
Yep.
were great. Then everything with Adam Sandler obviously is awesome and um yeah, dude, just props all around to everybody. Very cool that they were able to do this 30 years later and it still like be a ton of fun and not just
Right.
like horrible. Because I remember when the first trailer came out, we were a little nervous. Obviously, we
Yep.
were excited, but like a little nervous. You never know how these things are going to go. So I'm glad it was enjoyable. Everyone on Twitter that's hating on it, shut up. You're just an idiot. You don't know how to have fun.
I just don't
It's
know, like, what did you expect going into this movie? Like, you're rating it based on like it's supposed to be Oscar worthy. It never even appealed to be that. And if you haven't seen the first one, or if you have, I mean, you're getting the same exact movie. Doesn't make any sense
yeah,
to me.
yeah. I agree. But yeah, that is Happy Gilmore 2, 6.4 for me, 6.5 for Landon. Everybody check it out. It's on Netflix. I like a lot of people at work were talking about it. It's just a good, movie to talk about with your friends. A lot of fun. So check that out. That's Happy Gilmore 2. And now we're gonna jump into our big review of the week. One of my most anticipated of the year, and honestly, I know one of yours as well. Um, we finally get to talk the Fantastic Four First Steps, the newest installment in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. First movie since Thunderbolts back in May, and this is really the one that's like gonna honestly like catapult the whole Doomsday plot. I feel like, and we'll get to that little teaser at the end, but like this, me and you have talked about like for a couple years when they announced it. Like obviously. Captain America's got to be good. And then Thunderbolts, we honestly didn't know, but it ended up being great. But like me and you have talked about, and other people have talked about, like the MCU was kind of like hanging on the balance of the Fantastic Four, like if this was going to be a good movie or not. If this would have not been a good movie, I really think that could have like potentially been it for Marvel in the MCU because it just hasn't been. the smoothest sailing, ever since Endgame. There's been a couple heaters for sure.
Yep.
Like Guardians 3, Thunderbolts, Shang-Chi. But there's a lot of like misses as well, and some of the shows too. So like this was just one of those you kind of like felt the importance of it going in. Like not for the storyline itself, but like just literally for the fate of like the MCU as fans. I think it had a ton of pressure on it. It had a ton of expectations on it. Um, and you never know how those movies are gonna deliver with that high of expectations. And I'm very, very, very pleased to say that I think this movie delivered on all the expectations and even exceeded a lot of them. Um, I absolutely loved this movie. Um, it is exactly what I wanted it to be. Um, I think the cast was great. I think Galactus was awesome. Um, I think the visuals looked great. I think the score was great. Um, I really don't have a ton of issues with this movie. I have like maybe one or two little cons that we'll get to, but overall, dude, I was like thrilled that this movie was as good as it was. And I know you literally just got out of it like an hour or two ago, so I haven't talked to you about it at all. What did you think?
Yeah, I was very, very happy because now not only do we get two really good Marvel movies this summer, if you want to count Thunderbolts in the summer, I say it's in the summer, it came out in May, and yeah, I'm gonna say that. But not only did we get two good Marvel movies, we go three for three on comic book movies. Like all three of them were good. And I just am so happy because I think we were a little bit nervous for all three of these movies. Like, okay, man, Thunderbolts was good, but what about Superman and Fantastic Four? Okay, Thunderbolts and Superman were good. If we've seen anything, man, we're kind of worried about Fantastic Four. And now we get to see all three. They're all good. And I was very pleased with this movie. The cast was outstanding. I have no cons with the cast. I think they were incredible down from, um, you know, Ben Grimm to Sue Storm to Reed Richards, Johnny Storm, the Silver Surfer, who I think is just one of the MVPs of this movie. I think even though she is not, one of the like big characters with a lot of talking, I think what she does and how she is represented, great job. And then Ralph Ineson as Galactus. I mean, come on, I wanted Galactus to be so menacing and so terrifying, and the scale of him being just absolutely absurd. They nailed that, just nailed it. Um, and see him Reed, not being able to figure out this equation, because he's always Reed Richards is one of the smartest people in Marvel, probably top three on Earth. And seeing him just, freak out and not be able to figure out this equation is outstanding. There are a couple things that I just wish were done a little bit better, and we'll get into that in a minute. But overall, I had a great time with this movie. I thought it was incredible. I thought it was fantastic. I'm very glad that this movie was good because I think the Fantastic Four as a whole is one of those interesting Marvel like families or teams or whatever with very interesting characters. And we've gone, oh, I'm sorry to say, 0 for 2 in the past with them. And now actually getting a good Fantastic Four movie is awesome.
Yeah, I kind of disagree with you there a little bit. I honestly did enjoy the originals, like with Jessica Alba and Chris Evans. I think the first one's a lot better than the second, and then obviously the one that came out like what 10 years ago or something with Miles Teller, Michael B. Jordan. God, that movie is so bad. But I don't think the originals were that bad. I had fun with them, but yeah, dudes. I mean, they're awesome characters that we just I mean, the last time they were seen at least done decently, was 20 years ago. So it's very cool to kind of get them into the fold. I love how this movie has absolutely zero relation to any of the MCU, obviously until like that very last, mid-credit scene. But it takes place in a different universe, different timeline and everything, different era. I love like the retro futuristic New York City. It looks sick. Um, yeah, dude, I loved a whole lot about this movie. I'll get into my one little con, honestly, and it's honestly similar to a con that I had with Superman. I think this movie is just a little too short. I think it needs a little more time to breathe. I do appreciate the fact they didn't really try to cram too much in it. I think it was better paced than Superman was. Um, but I do think like it could have had some more time to breathe, just like Superman. I think 15 to 20 more minutes, whether it's of action or like exposition and setup, like I do think that this movie would have benefited from that the same way Superman. But outside of that, like just just a great time at the theater. And I know another one of my like big cons on Superman was the second act. And like in the Pocket Universe and everything. I think this movie, the second act was the best part of the whole movie. Um, so I think this movie did a lot of things better than Superman. I know everyone on Twitter is like going back and forth on the two. I personally enjoyed this one a lot more. Um, I mean, there's aspects of Superman I think I enjoy better, but then there's aspects of this I think I enjoy better. I really enjoyed both. But yeah, my biggest con is honestly like the length. I think it could have been a little longer, but outside of that, like nothing but praise. The score was unreal, like you said, the cast. I think MVP Julia Garner, Silver Surfer was great. Ralph Ineson's voice was unbelievable. But out of the main four, I think Joseph Quinn might have been my MVP. And then Vanessa Kirby, that last like big scene of her, where she's, pushing back Galactus. Um, yeah, I think them two were the strongest. But I mean, they were all great. Remember, we were very doubtful of Pedro Pascal. And I think he was great. Like, I honestly don't even know if I could really picture anybody else as Reed Richards. Like, he nailed that nerdy quirkiness, um, like perfectly. Family man. Um, very like conflicted and like you said struggling to he couldn't figure out this equation. um I think everybody did great. It was shot very well. Like I said, the visual effects were like the best Marvel's looked in a while. A whole lot to love, a whole lot to love. Do you have any little cons or nitpicks?
Yeah, so I have a couple. Number one, I don't love the first act of this movie. There's a lot happening immediately. Like you are thrown into this film immediately. And look, I know that we've seen it's almost like the same problem we have with Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, and we go back and forth like do we want to see another origin story? Don't twist my words here. I do not want to see another origin story. I've seen it twice. We know what happens. But it almost like got to the point in this movie like you kind of had no idea like who these characters were. And some people haven't seen the original Fantastic Four. Some people haven't seen the one in 2015. Thank God to those people. You probably are a lot better off in life than we are. We're probably I don't know. The first act is very rushed. There's a lot going on. She's pregnant immediately, and they we're supposed to like feel for the understand these characters and I mean, as soon as the Silver Surfer gets there too, I mean, that's pretty quickly into the movie, like, because Reed has built, whatever the cops that are going around with all these criminal undergrounds, and then immediately the Silver Surfer's there, and now Galactus is this big person, and then they go off to chase him. Now, once they do go off, like I feel like once Johnny has the interaction and they go off into space to go meet Galactus. I think everything after that, it kind of settles down and comes into its own, and you start to feel for the characters and everything. And I do enjoy everything after that. I just think the first act is a little bit too rushed. I think the world building's not there, the character building's not there, and not to say that it doesn't look good or the actors aren't great. I just feel like it's a little rushed. And I think we've talked about like some movies, especially in comic book movies, that's a problem right now. It's a little bit too rushed at times. And I think that's why we like Thunderbolts so much is because the characters still needed more building, and we were able to build those characters a little bit more. But yeah, the first act in this movie is very, very fast paced, and it felt like it was just thrown together. My other one is more like nitpicky, I guess, and if you don't read the comics, like I understand, like that's totally fine. Like Franklin Richards is supposed to be like one of these Omega type level characters in Marvel. Franklin Richards is one of the most important characters in Marvel at times. He can sneeze and create a universe or a dimension. Like he's that powerful. And I understand like Galactus say like I understand why Galactus wants him because me being a comic book reader and a nerd, like I understand why Galactus wants Franklin. I think watching this movie, like if you didn't understand who Franklin was in the comics or what his character was, Galactus wanting him was kind of odd. Now you assume it's because he's a powerful baby coming from Reed and Sue, like he's gonna have powers. And Galactus does make the comment, like, you know, hey, he'll satisfy my hunger. Like I'll never have to eat again, or I'll never have to eat for however long. But like we don't really understand the importance of him. And I think even at the end when I guess spoiler alert, when he reses Sue back to life, like we still don't understand his character completely. And I know he's a baby, like the baby's not gonna talk, but like I thought there was gonna be this moment that we figure out like what Franklin can do and how powerful he really is, but now we're just gonna have to keep waiting because he's not gonna. We don't see that. We don't know how important he is. The only two things we see, or the only really thing we see, is that he brings his mom back to life. And then in the mid-credit scene, we see that he can like he's very knowledgeable. He's very smart because he's reading the science or whatever it's called, the theory of evolution. Um, I don't know. Those are two. Like, I think the first act is justified. I think the Franklin Richards thing is a little bit more nitpicky because I just know who his character is, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't know who Franklin is. But overall, still really good. Like, there are parts of this movie that I wanted to stand up and clap for. And I think Galactus and the Silver Surfer at the helm of it is sick. Visuals stunning. Galactus stunning. The practical effects that they use, like the actual suits and everything, really good. So I'm not gonna sit here and harp on the bad things when there are really a lot of good things.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you as well. And like you said, honestly, like that sounds like our big con was, like you said, the first act felt a little bit rushed, and I agree. Like, I said I think it needs 15, 20 minutes. I think that's where that 15, 20 minutes needs to go. I think the second act was damn near perfect, and then I think the third act was damn near perfect. Like they were just like you said. As soon as Johnny has that interaction with Silver Surfer, where he flies up and touches the board, it's pretty much like balls to the wall. After that point, um, I cannot express to you enough how much I loved the second act. All of like the interstellar travel stuff, the whipping around the black hole, all that stuff. Obviously, it is extremely heavily inspired by Interstellar, like undoubtedly. Like that's the whole whipping around the wormhole. Like that's the biggest moment in Interstellar. Like
Yep,
a lot of visuals and the way like the wormhole kind of looked was definitely inspired by Interstellar. You could tell Matt Shackman very much likes Interstellar, and it was really cool to kind of see him like pay some respects to it. Honestly, I think that was like a way of for him to like give his flowers to Interstellar. So Interstellar being my favorite movie of all time, like I just thought that was the sickest second act ever. Her like surfing the waves of the black hole and the
yep,
wormhole, and dude, it was just unbelievable. And then they get back to Earth and like they're trying to figure out what to do, and then once Galactus gets there, like that whole last 30 minutes was just sick. Um, dude, it was just so good. It was like I said, it was everything I wanted outside of like it feeling a little bit rushed in that first act. Like it's exactly what I wanted. And like I said, it was really, really, really refreshing to have something not connected whatsoever. I didn't have to go think back to a movie that came out 15 years ago. It was just what it was, and I'm so glad that they went with the whole like they exist in a different universe route. I'm very curious to kind of see like how they end up merging over. Obviously, we've kind of jumped into spoilers now. We get the teaser of Doom in the mid-credit scene, um, talking with Franklin. Um, I'm wondering if that Doom is like from their universe or from another universe, or maybe he's actually from the MCU and he moved up. I don't know. I'm curious to kind of see like how all that works itself out and how they find themselves, you know, interacting with all the characters that we already know. Um, but as just a standalone like superhero movie, I mean, you can't really do much better. Visuals were unreal. The villain he's one of the coolest villains we've gotten in a Marvel
oh my
movie.
God, I am so glad he wasn't a gigantic cloud in this movie.
Oh yeah, dude.
So glad.
He looked great. Ralph Ineson's
I
voice.
mean, They nailed it. Nailed it. I cannot express how much they nailed it.
Yeah, they nailed the costume, they nailed the voice. I feel like every line Galactus had was like a bar.
Hmm.
He was just written so well. And literally there couldn't have been a more perfect voice. Um,
When he looks down and he finds Franklin in the Baxter building and he looks down and he just says clever little bugs,
Clever little bugs. Yeah, dude, his voice.
I bet they feel so dumb right now.
I wish I had that voice. Um, but yeah, like I said at the beginning, like this is a movie that has a lot riding on it, and I think it lived up to the hype. Other than a couple little nitpicky things we had, like it it delivered on what we needed it to. It was, I feel like the hope of, the future of the MCU was kind of riding on it, and it delivered. So I'm very, very happy there. Um, and it just gets me like even more amped for Doomsday. I keep seeing people on my Twitter like just talk about how not excited they are for Doomsday. Shut up. Like, I don't care what you think about the casting or the Russo brothers. Like, it's a big deal. It's gonna be a big deal. It's everyone's gonna see it and probably love it. Like, I hate all this like people hating on it before, anything, even we see anything of it. It's irritating. But I'm very excited. We don't get another Marvel movie till like Spider-Man, and that's next July. It's just crazy. Um,
That's not even connected to Doomsday. So
I know, because it's taken place before. So we're just gonna have to see like what these future Marvel shows and movies like how they connect and weave everything together. But um, yeah, so that's Fantastic Four first step. So we can jump into ratings now. Obviously, I was very, very high on it. I don't think it's perfect. I don't think it's in that five-star caliber of MCU stuff. Um, but it's right there. I gave it 4.5 stars. 9.3
oh,
is what I
pretty high. Yeah.
settled at. I'm higher on it than Superman. Um, I just have it under Mission Impossible and Warfare, which I think Warfare is just a much better movie, and Mission Impossible is I just, I don't know, the stunts and everything, just different reasons. But um, I loved the Fantastic Four. It wasn't perfect by any means, but yeah, 9.3.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on the star rating. Give it 4.5 stars. And I have it at an 8.8 out of 10. So it is under Thunderbolts and Superman, but if you would have told me at the beginning of this year that all three would be 4.5 stars, like I liked them that much, I will take that every day of the freaking week. Like I said, I think the first act is a little just too rushed, and that can either be a writing problem, I think, or look, again, you can make the movie a little bit longer. It's okay to have a 2.5 hour superhero movie, guys. You don't have to make it 2 hours and 8 minutes. But yeah, 15, 20 minutes probably would have done it justice a little bit more. And then, like I said, the nitpick of Franklin Richards and how they kind of went about that was fine. Look, whatever. But an 8.8 out of 10. I still have Superman and Thunderbolts higher than it. And I think I have it between, let me make sure. I have it between Mission Impossible and Mickey 17. So that's in great company, in my opinion, because I think very highly of those two movies. And of course, when I'm able to watch these movies again, Fantastic Four will be at the front of the list because I will go back and definitely be excited. But yeah, no, very, very impressed with some of the stuff they did in this movie. I still can't get over how good the Silver Surfer looked and how good the practical costumes looked on Galactus and the Fantastic Four. Just really, really good overall.
Yeah, no, I agree. Really, really, really good movie. Leaves me even more excited for like what's to come. I'm glad that me and you both enjoyed it. Honestly, I am a little shocked you have it lower than Superman, but to each their own, to each their own. Um, yeah, so that basically wraps up the episode. Um, we'll see what we're reviewing next week. I know The Naked Gun comes out. I have already seen that. I got to go to a super early screening. Um, you have a lot to look forward to. It is a fun, 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 fun time. As funny as like you think Happy Gilmore 2 is, like this is the best comedy of the year.
Love it.
I'm very excited to hear your thoughts and talk about that with you more. And then also Together, which I saw even, several weeks ago.
Hmm.
The new body horror with Dave Franco and Allison Brie, which I also enjoyed and am excited to talk to you about. So we got that, and then obviously we can maybe talk about that WWE show. Yeah, and then just whatever else comes our way.
Yeah, we also get Chief of War before next episode
People, yeah,
on Apple TV.
yeah,
Yeah, like you said, the WWE thing. I am for sure going to see Naked Gun this week. I want to make it to Together as well, so we'll see there. Hopefully, I can get to that. And then, yeah, man, we're just cranking it out. We're kind of getting on the downslope of the summer blockbusters.
after
So,
weapons, yeah, it's
yeah,
kind of like slow.
but Naked Gun and Weapons the next couple of weeks, we're super excited for those, which Cole's already seen Naked Gun. I'm seeing Weapons at 217, so I am getting the full experience. But yeah, no, we appreciate you guys for watching. Great episode, great reviews, I think. Happy Gilmore 2 and Fantastic Four. Like we, say every episode, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to do any of that. Let us know what you want us to review. If there's anything, any show, any movie that's on. We'll be happy to review it or talk about it. Of course, follow us on Letterboxd or be friends with us on Letterboxd. Follow us on Twitter and, of course, TikToks, YouTube Shorts, all that good stuff. But yeah, we really appreciate it, guys. 29 episodes in, still having fun. And we'll be back with, for sure, the Naked Gun next week. So
Say it,
say it.
say it, say
It's
it.
it's clobbering time. Peace out, guys.